Hey, welcome to Grandpa Casey. Today I have some tech news and FBI warnings that you don't want to miss. Stay tuned to the end. I'm going to be going over quite a few. This could save your life. Please listen to the end. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But I'm going to be getting into some things that have been happening in the past 3 weeks. So much cybersecurity and so many cyber attacks have been happening that you need to know about this to save it could mean your life. First thing on the list is we're going to talk about an FBI warning now to Americans to stop texting between iPhones and Android unless you're using something like Signal or the WhatsApp. Let's watch the video quick.
The FBI is urging Americans to stop sending regular text messages between Android phones and iPhones. The agency says the exchanges are vulnerable to hackers because they are not encrypted. Encryption is a technology that scrambles a message and requires a key to be able to see it. So if you have an iPhone and you need to send a message to an Android user, you're advised to use secure apps like Signal or WhatsApp. The warning comes amid high-profile recent hacking incidents that have been linked to China.
Well, according to the FBI and Rutgers just reporting, what they have found is rogue communication devices in every single solar inverter, solar panels, solar and batteries that China's been selling us. How bad is this? What this means is they can turn off that solar inverter. They have a radio built in where they could listen into conversations or take control of our national grid. You know, we know that we've been upgrading our national grid and trying to become more carbon friendly. But this means the following. Take a look at this. Now, one of these articles that I'm referring to is by Sarah McFarlane, great author who haven't read her. And again, the Rutgers and everyone are reporting that the power which are predominantly produced by China are used throughout the world to control solar panels, wind turbines, to electric grids. And in batteries, heat pumps, and electric vehicle chargers. How bad of a situation could this cause? Well, by 2023, renewable energy, which included wind, turbines, solar, resulted in about 21% of the power generated in the United States. Right now, according to statistics that I just was reviewing, that is up to 30% of our power grid. Now, if someone could take control of our power grid and shut off these devices, that means the power, get all this solar power, solar turbines, everything else could suddenly be turned off. That would cause a massive overload on the power grid. And that could cause a massive automatic shutdown. Now, we already know that the power grid is extremely vulnerable. Why? Because they have not been upgrading the systems, they have not been upgrading the math, they have not been upgrading the computers that run these. I mean, some of these power systems are still run on Windows 95. You know, they simply never bothered to spend the time and upgrade these power systems or protect them. So if you get something major like this that happens, it's a cascade effect. Let's go on to another thing that is happening. I hope you've been enjoying this content. You must be now because you've been watching this. Please give us a like, help get the content out. Share this video to the other information if other people like yourself. And don't forget to subscribe, maybe hit the thank you button, or buy us a cup of coffee to keep this channel open and keep things going. At any rate, the next thing I want to talk to you about is what's been going on with AI. AI, is, as you know, has been being used for all kinds of mischievous things. AI is a great tool, and it's a great thing that people are using today. But at the same time, it's being used. And two things that are happening. One is the FBI has been warning us about fake AI voices that are being used to impersonate officials, people. You know, you get a phone call that your mother's car broke down and you need her to send you money. But even worse, it's being used to get into people's bank accounts, because a lot of people have tried to go in with voice activation. So instead of using a passcode, they go, they say a word or something and the passcode goes in. Well, AI is being used for this. It is very, very extensive. But even to the point now where there's an organization called 741. I'm going to show you a video and get you information about that. It's things you need to know today to protect yourself and your kids.
To an ABC News exclusive tonight, an urgent FBI warning about a dangerous online network called 764, allegedly targeting American children and teenagers on social media and what they're doing. ABC News joining forces with our owned and affiliate stations across the country and what every parent needs to know tonight. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, the Justice Department says the armed man in this video is tied to a disturbing and growing threat, a shadowy network called 764, whose goal is to spark violence and chaos around the world, in part by luring in unsuspecting teenagers. Authorities say 764 is behind a string of chilling threats in Vernon, Connecticut.
Hello? I have placed 2 explosives inside of Rockville High School, okay? And if they fail to detonate, I'm just going to shoot every kid I see, okay?
The call was a hoax coming from overseas, but with help from a teenage girl living right in town.
He was doing these threats with her knowledge and with some of her input.
764 targets kids on social media and gaming platforms, extorting them into sending violent and sexual content.
They will encourage them sometimes to commit suicide. They will encourage them to do cutting. They will encourage them to harm their pets.
They're using basically psychological warfare on children.
That's right. They gain the trust, and then they continue to build that trust to the point where they have power and the ability to blackmail the child, basically.
The suspect in the fake bomb threat convinced that teen he was her boyfriend. Soon she was sharing pornographic pictures of herself and was fully indoctrinated.
Again, I hope you have been enjoying this content. Please don't forget to comment. It is important because it helps us know what you're liking, what you're disliking, and how it affected you. Because let's face it, today's cybersecurity is affecting everyone. Don't forget to give us a like, share, and subscribe. And let's get on to the next thing that the FBI is warning about. And that's about older routers. The biggest problem with routers, as they get older, they no longer get security updates. And the FBI is warning on specific models right now on the Linksys of the Linksys models. I'm going to leave you the link to this article, and I'll leave you the list where about these. What it basically means is that now they've found out that these particular models of Linksys routers, that because they're not getting security updates anymore, that they've been able to be hacked, and people are breaking into these routers and getting into secure portholes. That is extreme danger. I mean, I was looking at the list myself, and one of them, the WRT 1020N, I happen to have in my garage, which I've been using, because when I do a lot of work out there, and I didn't, it's an old model, and, I really don't need the speed out there. What I needed was a quick, router to extend, make signal in my garage. And I'm just realizing that's an access point for a hacker. So I'm hoping this information. Let me show you the list real quick. I will put this in the description so that you can look it over yourself. But again, if you have any of these Linksys models, the FBI is warning you to replace them now because they don't have the security updates, and you want to start closing them down or shutting down their ability to be open to remotely accessed. At any rate, I hope this information has been helpful for you. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I have a bunch of how-to videos about product reviews. I'm always coming up with something new ideas, and I'm always looking for your comments. What would you like to see a video on next? What product review? And if you're a company that you want your products reviewed on this channel, please give us a contact. Email us. We're welcome to talk to you and possibly review your product because everybody wants to know what's the best thing on the market. Again, like, share, subscribe. Grandpa loves you. I'll see you in the comments.